All right, let's have some other quick answers here before we close up tonight. Yep.
John Michael LaRue, pastor of First Baptist Church, Miamisburg, Ohio. I'm part of Ohio Baptist who last fall spoke almost unanimously on the matters of critical race theory. Several state conventions did that, and Danny, your seminary statement specifically cited the state conventions for grounds for explicitly saying any affirmation of critical race theory, intersectionality, and critical theories is incompatible with the Baptist faith and message. When James Merritt stood up there and said anybody who focuses on these things is in contrast to the Great Commission and is running conflict with the Great Commission, what am I supposed to do when I go back to Ohio Baptist, go back to my church, express these things that those that have been speaking on these matters and find them to be important doctrinal matters, such as the seminary presidents who say it's incompatible with the Baptist faith and message? How do I respond that at the SBC, they said, you are in conflict with the Great Commission to care about
You're thinking we're going to get a short answer on this? I mean, it's
an important question, because I got to go back. And there's state conventions that all spoke on these things to say, hey, we reject it. And today we heard, if you talk about this, you are not running with us in the Great Commission. And the seminary presidents encouraged many in this room by speaking clearly, and we heard, if you speak in specificity on this issue.
We didn't say that.
General terms.
Okay.
And
let me tell you, Danny Akin's interpretation and intent.
Friends, it's 10:04, so this needs to be brief. You can stay around afterwards and talk as long as the two of you want to.
I'll be quick.
All right.
We condemn critical race theory as an overarching worldview and ideology. I believe all truth is God's truth. So even critical race theory, intersectionality, I'll quote Vodi Bakum, who is no friend of critical race theory, acknowledges that sometimes it raises good questions and sometimes it makes valid observations. I can do that while at the same time saying, as an overarching framework, and this was what was said by Resolution 2, it comes up short, because it has a defective view of biblical authority, it has a defective view of anthropology, it has a defective view of soteriology, it has a defective view of eschatology. And so I can recognize that the overarching framework should be rejected outright. But I also realize that that doesn't mean everything they ever say, coming back to what Kevin said earlier, is incorrect and wrong. Again, all truth is God's truth, wherever you find it. And so we're going to always search out any and every discipline. And then finally, there's a difference between advocating something and educating about something. We do not advocate critical race theory at Southeastern Seminary, and I know it's not advocated at any of the other seminaries either. At the same time, I would never play the ostrich head in the sand and ignore it and not equip my students. We're going to go out and be pastors and ministers to not be able to lead and instruct their people well in this current climate in which they find themselves.
And if you're new to hearing this conversation, what you've just heard is a perfect summary of what you hear 100 times. That kind of question and that kind of answer. And I think that brother is not satisfied with that answer. And I think that answer satisfies that brother. And you guys can, you can talk about it afterwards, all right? Because a lot of people are not satisfied with that, and a lot of people are satisfied with that, and you guys get to talk to each other afterwards. Yes, sir.
Hi there. My question is not about critical race theory.
It just needs to be briefly answerable.
Yes, my question is for